Can we get there, Bears fans? Our goal is to get to 89,000 subscribers by the start of free agency, which technically is next Wednesday, but it's really next Monday when the legal tampering period starts. We're just over 800 subs away. If you want to stay tapped in on the latest Bears news, rumors, free agency coverage, we're going to have updated free agent targets later this week. Hit that sub button. We're going to have you covered. Would love to get to 89,000 by the start of free agency. Welcome into Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. Let's get right into it. Speaking of free agency, Christian Wilkins, a player that I did not expect to be available. I thought he'd for sure be franchise tag. Well, that is not going to be the case. Report coming in today that the Dolphins are not going to franchise tag Christian Wilkins, and that kind of signals to me he's going to sign elsewhere unless Miami kind of just lets him test the market and then Wilkins' camp gives him a chance to match. Cameron Wolf saying here, he covers the Dolphins for ESPN, that he could command $22 to $25 million per year, which is certainly a lot of money. One of the best run stuffers in the NFL, but emerged as a pass rusher this past year as well, and the numbers show that. 9 sacks this past year for Miami, but even the 2 years before that, 4.5, 3.5, not a bad number at all for a guy who's consistently been good against the run. Look, I know Ryan Poles is not a guy that usually gets into bidding wars, and I'm not necessarily recommending that. I don't overpay massively, but I would take a swing here, man. I think you put Christian Wilkins in the middle of this defensive line. You upgrade from Justin Jones to Wilkins. Him and Montez Sweat could really wreak havoc there. Maybe you go edge in the draft at some point to upgrade from DeMarcus Walker. Andrew Billings, one of the better run stuffers in the NFL as well. You still have Javon Dexter, who came on last year, Zach Pickens, a couple of guys entering year 2. All of a sudden, this defensive line could really start to round into form, a group that struggled early on last season, but you saw the impact Montez Sweat had. You get a second dog in there. I really like the idea of that. Now, it's not going to be cheap. PFF says 4 years, $100 million. That's probably what you're looking at, and that's kind of on par with what Cameron Wolf is reporting, $22 to $25 million per year. You'd love it to be closer to that 22 number, but you may have to go 24, 25 million per year, which if you go 25, you got 25 million per year defensive linemen with him and Sweat. But again, in this league, you got to get after the quarterback. And the Bears got one guy who can do that in Sweat. You got to have at least 2 if you want to be a serious contender. And Christian Wilkins is a guy from the interior that can give you that kind of production, which is why I would think the Bears would be interested, and I hope they are interested. Let me ask you, would you give Christian Wilkins $25 million per year? Type P for pay, type W for won't. I think I would, man. I think I'm typing my P for pay. It's probably a slight overpay, but that's what you got to do in free agency. Bears got $80 million in cap. I would certainly take a look at doing just that. Speaking of a guy who's looking for big money, Jaylon Johnson, is he primed to get the franchise tag? Well, we're less than 24 hours away from the NFL franchise tag deadline here, which is Tuesday at 3 o'clock Central Time. As of now, no deal for Johnson yet. And based on the rumblings I heard as the week went on in Indianapolis and just the fact that a deal hasn't happened yet, I do think a franchise tag is coming for Jaylon Johnson. Not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean that they can't get a long-term deal done. It just means that they need more time. Like, they're too far apart at this point in time. So do think a tag is coming. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you about our sponsor today. That is Mando. Go to shopmando.com to get $5 off. Guys, we're in the month of March, and it's a new year. You got to get going with better hygienic products. And with Mando, you can. From the makers of Lume Deodorant, Mando is here to make sure this year you showcase your best hygiene yet. If you suffer from stinky feet, armpits, or even below the belt, then Mando is for you. As the Mando doctor developed a clinically proven odor blocker, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's code CHAT at shopmando.com. The starter pack includes a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like body wash, and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Don't be the smelly guy in the car or at the gym anymore. Ditch that stink and get going with Mando today. It's shopmando.com. Promo code CHAT gets you $5 off. Got the cream here. It's absolutely fantastic. Don't be stinky anymore. Be smelling fresh with Mando. Use promo code CHAT. That link is in the description and comments of this video. Shopmando.com, promo code CHAT. You look at Jaylon Johnson, the type of year he had last year, highest grade corner in the NFL per PFF. I think the tape backs that up. I know sometimes PFF can get wonky. You're like, these grades don't match up with what I saw. But I think with Johnson, it definitely did. His coverage was fantastic. I mean, had he not dropped 2 pick sixes, I think he would be talking about one of the best cornerback seasons in recent memory in the NFL. And look, I like Tyreek Stevenson. I like Kyler Gordon, but you put them up a notch, you don't feel nearly as good about the secondary, especially after cutting Eddie Jackson to clear that cap space. So bringing him back is a must, even if it is on the franchise tag. And I think what you're running into right now is that Jaylon Johnson wants to reset the market. He wants $22 million per year. The Bears probably want him in that franchise tag number range, 19, 20 million bucks. And so there's a little bit of a gap. Johnson wants top dollar. Is Ryan Poles willing to give him top dollar? And if he's not, he's just going to place the tag on him and buy himself more time. If you still have until mid-July to get deals done for guys, excuse me, on the franchise tag, I could see it going that way. Ryan Poles said earlier last week he felt good about the initial offer they made, thought it was a strong offer with good guarantees. No deal yet, though, so Jaylon Johnson seems to be holding firm on his side of the negotiation. Make the call for me. What do you think? Should Jaylon Johnson be the highest paid corner in the NFL? Type Y for yes, type in for no. If you're typing in for no, I think your argument's probably like, well, he's had some minor injury concerns, and you wonder how that shoulder is going to hold up on this next contract. That's been a concern since coming out of college. So I'm guessing that's what the Bears are arguing in their negotiations. Y for yes and for no. We'll see where this ends up going. Sticking with free agency here, are the Bears going to sign a top running back? Report from The Athletic is that there's belief around the Bears that they could target an RB in free agency. Here's Adam Johns and Kevin Fishbane writing this up. Another position one league source brought up was running back, and a belief from outside the building that the offense could greatly benefit from a dynamic back. This is a deep free agent class for the backfield led by Saquon Barkley. Poles hasn't spent premium resources at the position, money or draft picks, but with plenty of cap space and lots of veteran options, the Bears could explore that avenue. And look, this is something I said, excuse me, a couple months ago. I like the idea of pairing a veteran running back on a 1 or 2 year deal. I wouldn't go 3, 4, nothing crazy, to help out a rookie quarterback, assuming the Bears go that route. Again, I think they will. I think they're going to draft Caleb Williams. I like the idea of getting a Saquon, getting a Derrick Henry, even a Josh Jacobs. 1, running the football is in the Bears' DNA. 2, it takes pressure off a rookie quarterback. And just think about, if they're in a playoff push late in the season, you get these cold weather games in the NFC North, like you can lean on a guy like Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley, 20-plus carries per game. I like Khalil Herbert, but I think as time has gone on, his best role is as a change of pace back. He's had some injury concerns. Sure, he's had good individual games as a lead runner, but do you trust him as a 17-game lead running back? I don't know. I'd like to say yes, but I can't say it with great confidence. You keep him as your number 2. Roschon's kind of your third down, catch the football back and be a blocker as well, and then go with Derrick Henry or Saquon on a 1 or 2 year deal, run them into the ground for the next 2 years. I'm in for that. $10 million per year on a player like that. I think that would be a very, very good deal. Who will be the Bears' RB1 next year? You think it's going to be Khalil Herbert? You think it's going to be a free agent? Maybe someone in the draft? Drop a name down in the comment section below. And again, I would really like to see this team add a veteran. And if they do, we, of course, will have it covered here on the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. This is the time of year to be locked in because free agency starts next week. Got the draft next month. Got to be a busy time. Don't miss out. Subscribe.